Now that we've addressed some of our favorite things about zombies, we are going to address some of the problems that we have with zombie culture. If you are an organism in general, your two things are to feed and to reproduce. So basically, we should see zombies eating each other while fucking all the time.
Yeah, we should.
I disagree. I think what Dan had said earlier.
Dan's not in this episode. Don't talk about him.
That's
Dan.
true. Dan
Let me just say before we start this episode, fuck Dan.
All right.
So one of the things that we need to clarify is that there are several ways that zombies are made. They're made chemically, they're made by nanobots, brain parasites, bioweaponry.
Space.
Voodoo zombies.
There's magic zombies, that's true.
Well,
There
voodoo
is the
zombies
whole
are
supernatural
the
thing,
original
too.
zombies.
That's what I was
I mean,
thinking.
And
that's
wreck and quarantine, it all starts.
In quarantine, it was.
In quarantine, it's more
performing
rabies.
Experiments
Yeah.
kind of on rabies.
But in
that's
wreck,
zombies and magic.
it is
Yeah.
more of a demonic thing.
Yeah.
It's demons. That's kind of.
One of the big differences that we're going to have to deal with as well is running zombies versus walking zombies.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems physiologically is lactic acid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to get very nerdy on this right now.
Science.
If the zombies that we're talking about are, on some level, semi-living zombies that are doing things like digesting, or the main one is breathing, then lactic acid is not going to be that much of a problem. But if you are an undead zombie that is doing things like not breathing, then you're going to have a problem because then you don't have a way to replace oxygen in your muscles. So over time, zombies aren't going to be able to walk, let alone run. If they
So
are
you're
breathing,
saying there would be an atrophy almost immediately?
yes.
If they're moving without replacing oxygen.
I also have the whole problem with rigor mortis.
Yeah,
how
rigor
we're
mortis.
running zombies really being able to do that. I don't care how freshly dead you are. My dad was a cop for many years. I've seen with dead bodies. I've seen a dead body.
I see dead people.
How quickly it turns into rigor mortis. You just freeze up. But as much as I love the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead, those zombies are dead. They shouldn't be running.
Okay, when you are on crazy fucking drugs
Lighthouses rule. You don't like the lighthouse, you suck.
and you break your leg, you can still run.
This is true.
So in the same kind of
That's
vein,
true.
if your brain is releasing some sort of hormone to just keep you going.
Because you just need to.
Because
So
obviously,
basically, if you're-
obviously the brain is what's in charge
Yeah,
of zombies. So if they're releasing these hormones that are allowing the body to keep functioning, that could be a possible.
Was that in Zombie Survival Guide? That sounds like it should have been.
I don't recall.
That sounds
but
like if Max Brooks heard you say that, and he would be like,
boom.
yeah.
So if the zombie apocalypse happens and you ever just give up and want to join the other side and become the best ultimate zombie there is, load up on PCP. Another one that was slightly dealt with in World War Z is zombies versus water.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, I love that.
Zombies
I love
eating
that
sharks
take on
and
it.
shit. Yeah.
No, it's just the zombies
Whales.
like walking, but also like.
In World War Z, zombies are able to walk along the bottom of
The
water.
ocean, yeah.
Which to me doesn't make sense because as your body decomposes, it releases gas.
I mean, it,
But the image of a zombie walking along the bottom of the ocean, Pirates of the Caribbean style,
hilarious, right?
and getting fucking fish just biting shit off of their head is ridiculous to me.
That's
awesome.
Very
ridiculous to me because the rate of deterioration would be so
It's
much
so much faster
You have
underwater. I was
salt
thinking
against
that
your
too.
body, like
You'd
that's
almost
just
instantly be a skeleton, and they address that in World War II
Yeah.
too. Like once you decompose, you're just.
that's
Nothing
that's
left to chase.
There are two parts to the next question that I really have about zombies, and one is that why do zombies only ever eat humans? And two, why do zombies never finish their meal? Do they get full? And if that's the case, wouldn't that happen more often? And if zombies were to finish eating their meal, zombies would not reproduce because they would be fucking done.
Okay, I have a thought about that. I think in some cases where the disease takes place and you have this kind of cerebral degeneration, it likens them almost to children. And so you have these attention spans that are very short.
Squirrel!
I think that would be a subject of distraction.
Because they're always surrounded by tons of people.
Because if they do
Chase
finish
after
their
the next
meals,
person.
then there would be nothing left of that corpse to get up and start chasing people around.
Which there usually isn't, because
Oh, so you're saying that's a writer's logic then?
No, that's why when zombies eat a person completely, they don't turn into a zombie. Like you destroy the brain. That's why sometimes there are bodies that are just left behind, and sometimes there are zombies that have started to rot.
It's like if you order a pizza and you eat half of it and you tell all your roommates, stay the fuck away, this is my pizza, and then you stick that pizza in the fridge, well then imagine that the fridge wakes up, the pizza starts waking up and eating
No, I want
other
the fridge
pizzas.
to wake up.
All of these things, though, originated once again from George Romero
yeah.
and Dan O'Bannon. George Romero started the whole "you got to shoot them in the head" to
remove
get
the
them
head,
down,
destroy the brain.
and then Dan O'Bannon is the one in Return of the Living Dead that's like, "Oh, they want brains. We're gonna eat only brains because it makes us feel better."
That's another problem that I have is why do zombies only want to eat the most difficult to get to organ in the human body?
Well, I'm sure he
What is the reasoning behind it? It's like the Highlander, like once you eat it, you become the ultimate zombie.
I'm sure he picked the brain because there are parasites again in the real world, in the natural world, that act this way. There's a parasitic fungus in the Amazon that like takes over the brain of certain ants and makes their bodies do weird things, and it makes them act
Oh
in
yeah,
certain
when
ways. So,
fish,
Yeah,
there are
there's-
these things that go into
that's
fish and then
just-
make them swim to the surface so they can be eaten by birds.
Yeah.
Parasites can
That's
really
just how the world
do
works.
a number
Let's
of
not
things.
forget, in the original Night of the Living Dead, it has a very sci-fi reason.
Yeah, it's
a
outer
satellite
space, yeah.
in space blew up, and its debris, it's caused the recently dead and their brains to malfunction to wake back up and start wanting to kill.
It's addressed in World War Z, but why is there not streets littered with zombie feces?
because
you
the
mean-
digestive
You're putting it
system
in.
doesn't function.
But
That's
then
the
it
World War
doesn't
Z
go
answer.
anywhere. Then you would just have these
You have
gorged.
distended
Yeah,
zombies.
That's the World War Z answer. So what happens in World War Z is they just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then their stomach explodes at some
Yeah.
point, and they're walking around with their guts hanging
You
out.
have that a little bit in The Walking Dead too.
And I thought that was an interesting perspective on, food goes in and poop comes out.
Excuse me.
I have a problem with zombies. It's not so much with zombies, it's with the idea of the zombie apocalypse. In terms of logistics, I don't see it ever happening, because if you have Romero zombies, they're either going to be really efficient zombies who turn everyone into zombies or eat everyone, and then, oh well, zombie apocalypse happened for like a day or two and then everyone died. Or they're the slow zombies, and if they're not efficient enough, then like Barbara in the remake of Night of the Living Dead, they're super easily avoided, and there's no way for them to spread in that high of numbers. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
That's why most of them, it just suddenly happens all over the planet.
Right, it has to be like all over simultaneously for no
Judgment Day
reason, or a virus spreading, like airborne.
Spread, the airborne
yeah,
thing. It
Yeah,
just
so those-
suddenly.
Whatever made zombies happen goes beyond the human race.
Humans are fucking done.
Oh yeah.
We're done. When you see zombie spiders coming at you from your fucking ceiling,
God.
But I mean, to,
Talk about
to argue
zombie
that
spiders.
point, it's the same reason that if you have a cold, your dog's not going to get a cold because you have different immune systems. So if you're
But if
arguing
it's a
that
parasite-
it's a disease, if it's a parasite,
Right.
And I want to call it now by saying the dawn of the end of the world is going to be on the backs of zombie squirrels.
I like that
Zombie
I like that we keep coming back to the zombie
Zombie
squirrel.
squirrel is
zombie squirrels,
terrifying.
I'm terrified. I can't imagine running from human zombies and having a fucking
Zombie squirrel jump out of a fucking tree at me.
You're really forgetting though, like that's scary because the idea of it, but zombie fleas are really
Oh,
the things
God.
that mean that we're all fucked.
Or zombie mosquitoes.
Or zombie mosquitoes.
Let's say we contained it to mammals. A zombie house
Right.
cat is adorable and mortifying. Like zombie bunnies. Zombie bunnies, we're all dead.
Kitty. Kitty. Kitty.
Squirrel!